was a crisp autumn morning when the email arrived, nestled among the mundane clutter of my inbox like a diamond in the rough. The sender's name was unfamiliar, yet the subject line beckoned with a promise of adventure. Escape to tranquility, a weekend getaway. Intrigued, I opened the message to find an invitation unlike any I had received before. It spoke of a secluded cabin nestled deep within the whispering pines of Blackwood Forest, a place untouched by the chaos of civilization. The words painted a picture of tranquil lakes, rustling leaves, and crisp mountain air, a perfect sanctuary from the hustle and bustle of city life. But it wasn't just the allure of nature that captured my imagination. It was the mystery that shrouded the invitation itself. Who had sent it, and why me? With a sense of curiosity tinged with excitement, I accepted the invitation, eager to escape the monotony of my daily routine and embrace the unknown that awaited me in the heart of the forest. As I packed my bags for the weekend ahead, anticipation danced in my chest like a flickering flame. I tossed in a few changes of clothes, some snacks for the road, and my trusty camera, a companion that had accompanied me on many adventures before. The drive to Blackwood Forest was long and winding, the road snaking through valleys and over hills, until at last the towering pines loomed on the horizon like silent sentinels guarding their ancient secrets. As I navigated the narrow dirt path that led deeper into the forest, a sense of unease crept over me. The dense foliage seemed to swallow the sunlight, casting the woods into shadowy darkness that whispered of hidden dangers lurking just out of sight. But I brushed aside my fears, reminding myself that I was here by choice, seeking refuge from the chaos of the outside world. With each mile that passed, the weight of responsibility lifted from my shoulders, replaced by a growing sense of freedom and possibility. At last, the cabin came into view, a rustic retreat nestled among the trees like a forgotten relic of a bygone era. Its weathered exterior bore the scars of time, yet there was a timeless beauty to its simplicity, a sense of peace that enveloped me like a warm embrace. I parked the car and stepped out onto the forest floor, the crunch of leaves beneath my feet echoing through the silent woods. The air was cool and crisp, tinged with the scent of pine and earth as I made my way to the cabin's front door. With a sense of anticipation, I reached out and turned the handle, the door creaking open on well-oiled hinges to reveal the cozy interior within. Sunlight streamed through the windows, casting long shadows that danced across the wooden floorboards as I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. As evening fell and the shadows lengthened, I found myself drawn to the edge of the forest, where the whispering pines stood sentinel against the encroaching darkness. Their branches swayed in the gentle breeze, murmuring secrets that seemed to echo through the stillness of the night. I wandered among the trees, my footsteps muffled by the thick carpet of pine needles that carpeted the forest floor. There was a strange energy in the air, a sense of ancient magic that pulsed beneath the surface of the woods like a heartbeat. And then I heard it, a faint rustling in the underbrush, followed by the soft whisper of voices on the wind. My heart quickened with a mixture of fear and excitement as I followed the sound deeper into the forest, drawn by a force I could not name. The deeper I ventured into the forest, the stronger the sense of unease grew within me. Shadows flitted at the corners of my vision, and strange shapes loomed in the darkness, just beyond the reach of my flashlight's beam. I quickened my pace, my pulse racing with a mixture of fear and anticipation, until at last I stumbled upon a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center stood a gnarled old tree, its branches twisted and contorted like the fingers of a skeletal hand. And there, beneath its shadowy canopy, stood a figure cloaked in darkness, a presence so palpable it sent shivers down my spine. I tried to speak, to call out into the darkness, but my voice caught in my throat, stifled by the weight of the unknown. As I stood there, paralyzed by fear, the figure began to move, its movements slow and deliberate, like a predator stalking its prey. And in that moment, I knew I was not alone in the forest. Something was watching me, waiting in the shadows to claim me as its own. As the figure drew closer, I could see its features more clearly, a twisted visage, neither human nor animal, its eyes gleaming with a malevolent light that sent a chill down my spine. I wanted to run, to flee back to the safety of the cabin, but something held me in place, rooted to the spot by a force I could not name. And then it spoke, a voice like dry leaves rustling in the wind, whispering secrets that sent shivers down my spine. It spoke of ancient powers, of forgotten rituals performed beneath the light of the full moon, and of a darkness that lurked just beyond the edge of perception. I listened, transfixed by its words, until at last it reached out a hand that shimmered with an otherworldly light, beckoning me to follow. And though every instinct screamed for me to flee, I found myself drawn to it, my footsteps guided by a force stronger than fear. Into the darkness we ventured, the shadows closing in around us like a suffocating embrace. And as we disappeared into the depths of the forest, I knew I had crossed a threshold from which there could be no return. The forest seemed to stretch on forever, its twisted branches reaching out to ensnare me in their grasp. I stumbled and fell, my body battered and bruised by the unforgiving terrain. Yet still I pressed on, driven by a sense of purpose I could not name. And then I saw it, a glimmer of light in the distance, like a beacon cutting through the darkness. With renewed determination, I pushed forward, each step bringing me closer to the source of illumination that beckoned me onward. At last, I emerged into a clearing bathed in moonlight, where a figure stood waiting, a figure cloaked in darkness, yet somehow familiar. It was the same presence that had haunted my dreams, the same entity that had called out to me from the depths of the forest. And as I gazed into its eyes, I saw myself reflected back, not as I was, but as I could be. For in that moment, I realized the truth. The darkness that lurked within me was not something to be feared, but something to be embraced. With that revelation, the shadows receded, and a sense of clarity washed over me like a cleansing tide. I understood now that the darkness I had feared was not an external force to be battled, but a part of myself, waiting to be acknowledged and accepted. As I stepped forward to embrace the figure cloaked in darkness, I felt a surge of power coursing through my veins, a power born of the ancient magic that pulsed within the heart of the forest. Together, we danced beneath the moonlight, our movements fluid and graceful, as if guided by an unseen hand. And in that moment, I knew I had found my true self, my soul united with the wild and untamed spirit of the forest. No longer bound by the constraints of society or the expectations of others, I was free to roam the wilderness as a creature of the night, forever bound to the whispering pines that had called me home. As dawn broke on the horizon, casting golden rays across the forest floor, I turned to face the rising sun with a sense of peace and contentment I had never known before. For in the heart of Blackwood Forest, amid the echoing whispers of the ancient trees, I had found my true purpose, to wander the earth as a guardian of the wild, forever attuned to the rhythm of nature's song. And though my journey had been fraught with danger and uncertainty, I would not trade it for anything in the world. For it was in the depths of darkness that I had found my light, shining bright and true for all the world to see. As I vanished into the depths of the forest, leaving behind the world of men and machines, I knew I was home. Years have passed since that fateful night in Blackwood Forest, yet the memory remains etched in my mind like a vivid dream. Though I have wandered far and wide, exploring the hidden corners of the earth, there is a part of me that will always belong to the Whispering Pines. And as I stand on the precipice of a new adventure, my heart filled with anticipation and wonder, I know the forest will always be there, waiting to welcome me home. For in its depths, I have found not only solace and sanctuary, but the true essence of my soul. And so, with a smile on my lips and a song in my heart, I venture forth into the unknown, guided by the echoes of the Whispering Pines and the promise of endless adventure that awaits beyond the horizon. For in the end, it is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself, and I am ready to embrace it with open arms.